Walter Simmons and his company Apex Cybernetics are the driving force of Godzilla vs. Kong. Everything that happens in the film, from Godzilla attacking to Mechagodzilla trashing Hong Kong, happens because of this man and his company. Despite this central position in the plot, Apex Cybernetics and Walter Simmons are left unexplored. I was going to include Apex and Walter Simmons in the video about the podcast crew, considering how much screen time the two spend together. However, just like my video on the opening credits, there are details that need a closer look.
The closer look.
No, stop it, this is my video. So, what is Apex Cybernetics? Who is Walter Simmons? Walter Simmons is Elon Musk. No, I'm not joking, this character is Elon Musk. They both have massive 600-mile-per-hour maglev train tunnels. They both have hover vehicles made to travel to new worlds. They both have AI-driven vehicles, and both have supervillain weapons. I'm not saying there's a Mecha Musk lying around somewhere, I'm just saying we should keep an eye out in case Elon Musk grows a curly moustache. As for who Walter Simmons, aka the bad guy, is as a character, well, we know he likes taking risks.
I love crazy ideas. They make me rich.
We also know he doesn't like the Titans with a specific hate boner for the Big G. So much does he not like Godzilla, he goes to the extreme of making Mechagodzilla to fight and kill him. But why? Well, we get one chance to find out in this film, but...
You see, 10 years ago, when Godzilla was first revealed to the world, I had a dream. And in that dream, I saw one thing. And that was...
They even tried to make a joke out of it.
It's unfair. I really wanted to hear the rest of that speech.
Ha ha, funny. Ha ha. What about the company? Apex Cybernetics is advertised as follows.
We dreamt of new ways to push past the limits of human potential. Who knows what brave new future we'll dream of next.
And it is my privilege to lead Apex into humanity's bold new era.
The company makes robots, brain scanning tech, artificial intelligence, guns that do that zip noise, like they're straight out of Spaceballs,
Son of a bitch!
floating holograms, magnetic survey satellites, anti-gravity engines, super laser cannons, and technology that can replicate energy sources faster than Tony Stark can.
Reveal the chemical makeup of an impossible-to-create element,
Unfortunately, it is impossible to synthesize.
which Tony immediately synthesizes in order to wrap up all loose ends.
Congratulations, son. You have created a new element.
Soon. Mr. Serizawa, start your engine!
I think it's safe to say there are some big technological jumps going on here. There is an explanation for this, but it's not explicit, and even if it was, there would be questions. I'll talk more about that in a moment, but let's try to stick to the chronological order. So Apex Cybernetics has some incredible technology, amazing advancements past what we have in current year. Are there signs of this in the Monsterverse? No. Is anyone really surprised or shocked to see some of these technologies? Also no. This company is an anomaly in this world, but no one seems to care. On top of this, if this company is so advanced beyond the rest of the world, why is its security so shit? One of the company's employees is this guy. He makes podcasts. I'm calling him Podcast Guy. Podcast Guy makes a podcast talking about conspiracy theories, many revolving around Apex Cybernetics. He's shown broadcasting his intention to infiltrate Apex Cybernetics databanks, download evidence, and expose a vast corporate conspiracy from his car in the car park.
Today's the day. I'm finally taking my shot. I'm about to walk in and download hard evidence. Corporate conspiracy. This is more than a leak. It's a flood. This flood is gonna wash away all Apex's lies.
He also enters a section of the building he's not supposed to be in, but stays even after saying,
You ever wonder what we're really doing here? I mean, really doing here?
he accesses secret sensitive information without a need for passwords. He walks into a secure area of the facility unchallenged until he's very far in and the plot saves him. This all happens in one scene. Podcast Guy doesn't have special skills or tech or anything like that. He isn't James Bloody Bond. He's just a podcast guy. But wait, there's more. Later on, Madison Russell gets into a lift to the secret area beneath the facility. No password, no keycard required. When Podcast Guy yells in panic and fear in the middle of said secret underground area, no one cares. The podcast crew walk around in yet another secret underground facility with no worries. They are also able to walk straight into possibly the most important room in the entire company, maybe even the world, and no one stops them. No detection, no security, nothing. Bloody hell, Apex. Hire the crows or something.
What'd you bring me?
There are also some other weirdnesses. When Godzilla arrives for reasons I will get to soon, an alarm goes off.
Evacuation. Titan alert.
Why do they have this? According to CNN, Titans haven't been seen in 3 years. In Godzilla Killing the Monsters, the news reports that Godzilla hasn't been seen in over 5 years. Why would a company have a specific Titan alarm? Does everyone have one of these now? Is there a big red button in every building in every company that says, in case of attack on Titan... that says, in case of Titan attack? There is also an interview with the bad guy on the news where he says,
Godzilla is a threat to humanity, and Apex has a plan to deal with it once and for all.
this is an odd thing to say after one attack, considering how many times Godzilla has fought to save the world. Worse, why would you say this on television? Does he not worry someone might take an interest in what he's saying? Wouldn't Monarch be like, hey, that guy, he just said he's got a plan to deal with Godzilla. We should probably look into that. Now to discuss the elephant in the room. Kevin. Somehow, Kevin has ended up in Apex Cybernetics and is being used to operate Mechagodzilla. Presumably, Kevin is the reason Apex Cybernetics has such advanced technology. I have no idea how, but that's the only reason I can think of. Kevin is also the reason Godzilla attacks, because it's telepathically linked to a robotic eye stored in the facility's basement, which has been turned on. It's later revealed that there's a link only when there's a pilot trying to operate Mechagodzilla. The pilot being Ren Serizawa. But he's not in Hong Kong to operate it, he's in America, where the facility is. Was someone else trying to operate Mechagodzilla? Why were they trying to operate Mechagodzilla when his parts are halfway around the world? If this isn't the case here and they just have it on its own, why is it on? Why did no one turn it off when Godzilla attacked? Did they not know he was attacking when using this? Is this the first time they've turned it on? Must be, considering this is the first time Godzilla has attacked anything. It was definitely on during the attack, as shown here, and this room is wrecked, so why did Godzilla stop attacking if the eye was still on? Did someone turn the eye off? Why would they if they didn't know it would attract Godzilla? I'd also like to know what the eye, and indeed the rest of Mechagodzilla, is made out of. In this scene, Godzilla blows a hole through the facility, concrete and steel vaporizing under the intensity of his atomic breath. The eye sits in the middle of the hole, or, well, almost the middle, untouched. Considering Godzilla is able to melt his way through the planet, yeah, that's the thing, and laser his way through buildings that use steel I-beams for an internal structure, what on this earth is Mechagodzilla made out of? The material could be one more advanced technology made from the acquisition of Kevin. At least that's what I'm going to assume based on nothing whatsoever. This thinking allows for the other advanced tech to exist that moves the plot along. It doesn't explain the incredibly poor security that also moves the plot along. But how did Kevin get to Apex? Did Alan Jonas sell Kevin to Walter Simmons? Why would he do that? He wants to let Titans loose, not kill them. The existence of Kevin in Apex doesn't make sense. Worse, the film suggests there's another head.
Next for so long they communicated telepathically. It had 3 heads. One here, another one inside of that thing.
That makes even less sense considering. I do like that Godzilla comes from Mechagodzilla whenever he's turned on. It keeps the continuity from Godzilla killing the monsters, and the suggestion that Ghidorah was already awake before Emma Russell turned up to Antarctica. I don't like the fact that Godzilla acts like a complete psychopath and wrecks the whole facility. Only 8 people die though. My arse, there should be so many more people dead, so many. But why is he destroying everything? And why are the military attacking Godzilla before he does anything? This is his first appearance in years and his first attack on humans ever. Why would the military be shooting at him? In amongst all this, I noticed the planes were flying really low, but that appears to be a thing in this film. Godzilla vs. Kong depicts Godzilla as an ultra-violent monster vaporizing everything, even when the source of his agitation is in clear sight. But this shouldn't be happening. Godzilla in previous films made a beeline for his goals, ignoring the pesky, near-insignificant humans in the vicinity, even the friendly ones. Even when attacked by the military in Godzilla 2014, he either ignored them or moved away from them. RIP Golden Gate Bridge. I wonder if they rebuilt it. Basically,
these are not monsters.
I know why Godzilla is shown this way in Godzilla vs. Kong, of course. It's to make him seem horrifying, a true threat to push the plot along. But if you've seen the other films, which you probably would have, then this is completely out of character for Godzilla. As for why Godzilla came to the facility in the first place, well, you could assume that the bad guy turned on the eye to aggravate Godzilla, lure him in, and destroy the American facility to cover up what they were doing, then move everything to Hong Kong in secret. This would make sense, maybe even be clever, except the bad guy was in the facility at the time, along with Mechagodzilla's pilot. On top of this, we have to jump through hoops to make sense of what's going on. According to the film, Godzilla hasn't been seen in 3 years, and this is the first time he's attacked anything other than a Titan. Also according to the film, Godzilla comes from Mechagodzilla when he's turned on. With these 2 facts, we assume this attack on Apex is the first time Mechagodzilla has been turned on, otherwise there would have been other attacks. However, we then have an underground facility that appears to have been used multiple times to test Mechagodzilla. There are also cargo containers filled with skullcrawler eggs, that's an issue in and of itself, as well as rooms holding live adult skullcrawlers, apparently enough to fill at least 10 rooms.
Release number 10.
This presumes Mechagodzilla has been tested many times, at least enough to facilitate all the workings in the film, and based on what the bad guy says later on,
Straight for us. He's been coming for us since our creation first awoke.
this means they are aware of Godzilla's aggression towards Mechagodzilla, which should then mean Godzilla has attacked before. But he hasn't. There are no other reports. Once again,
after the first substantiated Titan sighting in over 3 years.
This doesn't line up with everything else. There appears to be a lack of foresight, storyboarding, effort. Something is missing here, a connected through line that makes everything work. Speaking of the things being missing, let's talk about the bad guy again. Cutting off the bad guy's vocalizing of his motivations might be an attempt by the film's creators to poke fun at the evil villain monologuing trope, at the bad guy telling the heroes of his plan. This would have been fine, but this takes something out of the film. Literally. It's like they wrote the script with the explanation in, then said, "Hey, wouldn't it be funny to have him interrupted whilst talking? You know, like that Incredibles scene?" The problem is, it needed to be replaced. When Disney remade Mulan and removed the songs, they didn't take into account that the songs had meaning not only to character building, but supporting the plot. Taking out songs from a musical also takes out important story beats. Sideways did a really good video on this, you should probably go look at that. Just like Disney's live-action Mulan, Godzilla vs. Kong appears to have taken out the villain motivation and left the film lacking. We're left wondering why this incredibly rich, successful businessman with who knows how many employees involved in his supervillain plan is doing what he's doing. Like so much of Godzilla vs. Kong, Walter Simmons, aka Faux Elon Musk, aka the bad guy, and by extension Apex Cybernetics, are badly put together with no thought for how they work. Apex Cybernetics is highly, ridiculously advanced to move the plot along, but also stupidly insecure to move the plot along. Godzilla is presented as an overly violent, terrifying threat to give credence to the bad guy's plans, regardless of whether this matches his established character. Kevin's skull is the focal point of the film's plot and the eminent tool of the bad guy, despite not making any sense being owned by him. And finally, the bad guy. Any backstory or motivation for his actions are lost in a joke, leaving him a shallow cardboard cutout, much like so many other aspects of Godzilla vs. Kong. Adding all these pieces together reinforces my belief that this film was put together under the mistaken belief they were copying the older films. The old films had plot, had characters, had motivations, had messages, but that's not what this film wants to remember. Godzilla is a monster smashing planes out of the air. The bad guy is bad, using advanced technology to do bad things. Don't worry about who, what, where, how or why. Look! Big monster smash! Here lies Apex Cybernetics and Walter Simmons, put to rest after being examined and found wanting. I'm sure I will return to them at some point, but for now I'm happy to end it here, ready to move on to... oh no. I hope you will join me for the next video in my series. If you haven't already, go give the previous videos a watch. I will apologise in advance for the quality I'm learning as I'm going along. If you feel like supporting me or just fancy some shiny Lovecraftian relics, I have an Etsy store. Link in the description. Thank you for watching.